someone made me a really nice service. Look in here. Look over here. Look over here, silly. And I'll tell you one other real quick story is that I was awarded, in November, the hometown hero of Winter Springs. So they were so classy about this that they let me get this out. They did these two trophies. One that says Bailie is the canine hero of Winter Springs, and then mine. So
That's awesome.
it was really cool. I live in Florida, grew up in Pennsylvania, and I served in the Marine Corps from 1969 to 1972. Well, the VA when I initially filed, it was difficult, but I was able to get through it a little bit, and they gave me a low percentage. Then I wasn't getting anywhere at all after that with anybody at the VA or even the Legion for that matter, because they're the ones that I went to initially, the local Legion, and then I went to the VA to the disabled veteran group, and then the VA itself, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I was almost at the point of giving up, frankly. Uh, and then as I mentioned to a couple folks there, a dear friend of mine, John Gerwe, kept pushing me uh, and to go to Hill and Ponton as he did, and because he had nothing but praise and gratefulness to what you did for him. So I went there and not knowing what to expect, but it was so simple that it was too simple, to be honest. And but I went and we got all the paperwork. I signed the power of attorney, and then that was it. And we I had some outside uh, reviews by doctors and whatnot, and we did get denied. But I know how persistent you all are. And someone said, and I can't remember who it was, but they told me we never give up, and that's the truth. So when I finally got the award, I was uh, just tremendously grateful, and because it was a life changer for me. Well, I've actually done that a few times because like myself, I was stubborn. Didn't think I would even get it, frankly. They denied part of my cervical injuries early on, and so forth. So I was pretty dejected at the time, and again until I went to you all. So I know a couple of my brothers that served in Vietnam, and one particularly, he's not well, and he just doesn't want to go through the effort, the time, and so he and his son, or I should say myself and his son, were going at him, and I'm telling him he thinks it's a big effort and a big uh, he has to go get the paperwork, and he has to do this and he has to do that, and I said to him, Doug, I said it's not like that. I said you simply go to them, talk to them. And they if they take your case, they do all the work. You sign a power of attorney, and like myself, I mean, I didn't hear from them for months, and so I just sat back and hoped and prayed that it was something was going to happen, and it did. So I didn't have my. I mean, I wasn't having over expectations because I don't think that's good to do. So I was sitting back, and I felt strongly that something was happening, but you can't assume anything, which I did not. And but when it came in, it was great. And I told Doug the whole story. And his son called me the other day, and he said, "Al, we're going to call them." So I don't know if in fact they did, but his son said we're going to call them. And I would say the same thing to anybody else. I mean, it's not like you have to be active there. It's not like you have to go to your offices. You don't have to go fight for your documentation at the VA because you all do everything. And so there was very little on my part except for going out for uh, some reevaluations by a few doctors. So that's all the effort I had to do. Throughout my time, particularly in the last, again, 15, 20 years, when things were going probably the worst that they could go for me, uh, I was being attacked from all sides, financially and otherwise. But uh, I stayed strong, and I think that's what we do in the most part. I mean, we get to the point where we give up, particularly Vietnam veterans. I think when they there's so many out there that's so sick, and you go to VA, and it's sad to see so many guys in wheelchairs and oxygen, and and so forth. And I've been to this point, I've been blessed. I have a few problems, but nothing to the extent of some of my friends that have passed away and those that I know well now. But my words there would be, again, stay strong. uh, Seek help when you need it. I mean, particularly from your brothers. I mean, we have a tendency not to share our problems with non-military people. But when we get together as two or three, we kind of unload on each other. In fact, I have a very good friend up in Virginia, the name of Octavio Rodriguez. He came from Cuba. He was drafted shortly thereafter, and then he went to Vietnam in 1966 or 67, and he was forward artillery. And he got home, and in 1990 he had a heart condition, so he has a defibrillator and a pacemaker. He has cancer in lung nodules. He had a kidney taken out, and the list goes on. I mean, and he's still. We talk about 3 nights a week because he can't talk to his wife or others, so it's kind of our time. And I think that's what's important. I mean, we have to kind of lean on each other and stay in touch with each other. If you are talking to someone, uh, for days or months or whatever, and you don't hear from that person, call them. And I was helping a nonprofit for about 10 years. In fact, I was probably number two person in this organization, and most of it were Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. And for whatever reason, they had a high respect for me, and I ended up uh, kind of being some of these guys' dad. And in fact, two of them call me that, which is quite an honor for me. But they always dumped on me, with their problems, and I got involved in so much stuff between divorce and attempted suicides and you name it. But and my children said, "Dad, you have to stop doing this." But there was something in me that said, "No, I can't do that." And after 10 years, I finally did because I was getting a little bit burnt out. But the point there is that we had the camaraderie and the and the need and so forth. And that, now some of those guys are moving forward and helping other veterans. And so I think I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, I feel that my service never ends. I mean, I'm out of the Marine Corps, but I don't feel that my service ever ends to help others. And I think that's what helped me to get through these last 15 years, to be honest.